All right, this one is very interesting, especially because Meghan is like two different people in these two different Larry King interviews. So we'll check out this one, another video, we'll check out the next one.
Network's legal drama Suits. She's also a UN Women political advocate for participation and leadership. That group has called for the year 2030 to be the expiration date for gender inequality. We'll get an update on that effort with Meghan, who joins me in studio. By the way, Meghan is also the founder of the TIG. That's a website for those with a hunger for food, travel, fashion, and beauty. It covers about...
Isn't that so funny, right? It's like, Meghan, the UN women's advocate, the TIG, food, fashion, and beauty. And I looked at it, it's like gifts to get your man. It's basically like a junky version of Cosmo magazine with more expensive stuff. Literally, if you look at it, check it out.
Everything but fooling around.
Pretty much.
What is that?
All right, that was a really fake laugh. I don't know what she was thinking.
The TIG?
TIG.
Well, it's so funny. The namesake actually comes from a wine that I had that was an aha moment, Tignanello, which people sort of pronounce Tignanello here in the States. And it became my
Oh my gosh, that is so arrogant. It's Tignanello, but people pronounce it Tigmanello. Oh. And look at it. See, I'm right. Insider's Guide to Stockholm, The Changing Bread. It's just like really expensive, overpriced junk. I'm not saying there aren't good expensive things. I'm saying she's promoting expensive things that look like junk, like the husband shirt, which you have right here. That's you could just do your 6 payments or 4 payments of $70 for this basic white shirt.
Name for moments of getting it, moments of clarity where something is not just red or white as with the wine, but really has some depth to it. So yeah, the site has been a really nice resource for me to share all of those passions.
It's a website.
It's a website, yes. And it was also actually just the TIG.com. And it's actually where UN Women reached out to me because I had written a think piece about...
Are you kidding? Did they actually reach out to her based on that? I mean, I don't know what UN Women is, but I don't know.
The same sort of things we're talking about, right? About women's inequality and hoping to find a way to find self-empowerment. And because they had read this piece, they ended up saying, we would really like to...
All right.
So what I will say, the huge thing that I noticed, because I watched her other interview with Larry King, which I'll probably analyze as well, she had not much to say. And something I've noticed, and I think a lot of people do, is they use these advocacy causes as a way to be much more aggressive. Like it gives them something to say and it makes it hard to argue against them because like they could be like, oh, do you just have a problem with women? And I'm telling you, this is super common. I remember I saw some like political panel and they had like these people actually knew what they were talking about. But one of the women, she was from like MTV News or something. Like she was like a joke. It was, if you looked at like her credentials, it was a joke. And she was just sitting there had nothing to say. And then they said like women, like, are you saying that men need more of a voice? And just like used as a way to be aggressive and take over the conversation. Like she didn't really have things to say. She didn't really have thoughts. She didn't really know what she was talking about. But people can just repeat. It's not just necessarily a woman's cause. It could be all sorts of causes. They can just repeat these like things that people say over and over, like thought-stopping techniques where they're not really saying anything. They don't have unique opinions, but it's a way to just get aggressive and be heard and put themselves over other people oftentimes, I believe. I'm not saying there aren't people who really care about causes, but if you compare Meghan using the way she uses the causes and many other people use them that way.
What is UN Women?
UN Women is a branch, obviously, of the United Nations, but I think as it being a young organization, what they've really been striving to do between the He for She campaign and then, of course, the work that I'm doing with them, which is specifically trying to find women in political positions, be it from a grassroots leadership level or beyond that, to say, we need to have a seat at the table and we need to be...
See, you notice this, like, again, I saw her other interview in Larry King. She was quite awkward, and now she's speaking, like, with this bit of, like, a little bit of, like, aggression behind it. Like, we need a seat at the table. And, again, I think a lot of people, they use these causes as a way to be aggressive. They find a socially acceptable way to be aggressive. And now the next level is they use it as a way to bully people. Like, you see that all the time now. Like, that has become much more common. They'll pick a cause, like, you're this, you're that, you're whatever, and they just use it as a way to bully people.
Leaders that are really comfortable having our voices heard, because when women are uplifted, the entire community is.
What does the work entail? What do you do?
Yeah, so last...
And also notice, right, we're talking about uplifting these women's voices. Where are these women? Why aren't they on Larry King? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think they do this so often. These people would take up these causes. Again, there are people who are genuine, but it's like, oh, I'm helping these people. So it's kind of like infantizing the people they're helping, and they get to be the loud advocate in front of everyone, and they can't be argued with or turned down. I think that's what she does very much with her causes. Again, I see it all the time. So common. Like, you'll see someone who's like socially awkward, or they don't really have much going for them, and then they'll just like use these causes to bully. They'll bring them up in an inappropriate time in a conversation so that they can like interrupt people. And then if you say like, hey, like, let's talk about something else, say, oh, do you not care about the cause? Just like socially inappropriate. It's like a vehicle of social inappropriate aggression oftentimes.
Last February, actually, I went to Rwanda, which was incredible, because Rwanda has...
and for bragging.
The highest percentage of female political participants of any other country in the world, just 60.
And again, it can be good, to have equality, whatever, but for those of you who don't know, the reason that this happened was because the other political leaders were literally murdered because of the genocide. So she's literally like, that genocide was good because on paper we have it's supporting this cause, which I doubt if they had real power. There was genocide going on at the time. So it's like, oh, the genocide's great. Literally.
4% of their government is female.
Wow.
So when you see 64% of the senators being women.
And the thing is, this part she actually does sound slightly proud of. It's, it's like, great. You saw these people get brutally their lives taken from them. And, I don't think these, women who had these positions in Rwanda were probably having the best life either,
Changes the conversation that's at the forefront. So I went there to meet
with
leaders, and then to also go to Gihembe refugee camp and to meet with female leaders at a more of a grassroots level, and then take that information, use things like this, and use opportunities.
And the thing that's so annoying, it's such a pet peeve, is, again, like, I can like have these conversations in my head. The way she's talking is freaking annoying. Like, it's annoying. Like, let me tell you off about this or whatever. And it's not that I'm against a cause, right? Like, they do this so people can talk and be annoying, and they just won't be quiet about what they're doing and their cause. And you can hear like there's a slight like aggression under her voice, and no one wants to hear that. Like, right? Like, if someone just started talking about politics and causes, most people don't want to hear that. But then she can use her cause. Like, it's hard to argue against it. Like, if you're Larry King and you're like, hey, like, can you just like stop using your talking points? Like, whoa, do you not support the cause? And blah, 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 blah. So I think, especially when you see the other Suits interview, that's really what's going on here.